Okay, shall we wait for others to join or?
I think Carlos is coming, but maybe we can begin. Let me ping him again.
Carlos will join?
I believe so. I'm trying to ask him. There he is.
Hello.
Oh, man. Hey, Carlos.
Hello.
Okay, let's start with the intentions, distractions, and tell me how do you feel today, and what's your intentions and distractions. I'm fully here. I'm very good, and my intentions is just to have more sync between Giveth.io and Giveth Trace, and also have a quick review for what we've done during this sprint, and also groom some particular issues. I pass it to Metal.
Hey guys, happy to see you all. Finally settling up again in my place, so ready to kick ass this week. It's been a while. So as updates, this weekend I work on some issues that were left over for a while ago. I updated the IO version for it, so you can see already the traceable projects and all of that. The big issue that we're bothering everyone about the dash one project when you make an edition, and so it's solved now. So yeah, that's basically what I did super fast, like in an emergency mode this Saturday, and I'm ready to clean the board for this week because yeah, it's been a while since I code that much. Yeah, looking forward to see what should we keep have in mind for the Trace and IO integration. I heard Amin said that maybe we should consider making another project. So I'm curious maybe how that could work. I'll pass it to Amin.
Hello, everyone. My intention today is to talk about the future and how we will go for integrating and sharing components with each other. We are in the position, we're in the step to decide about our stack that we use. We were going to different ways. In USIO, has chosen Gatsby, and then next, in US Trace, we were using Create React App, simple. And currently we are at the moment to decide how to implement the token and other menus front end. So I'm not sure which one to choose. We know that would be React. Yeah, we know that, but I am still wondering whether we migrate US Trace to Next or something else, or maybe it's more. Maybe it would be better. I was thinking today that Giveth.io migrate to Giveth if it doesn't have much thing to do with Next. It can be migrated to Create React App. I'm here to discuss it, and of course Matthew has will have good idea and opinion. I pass it to Rami.
Hi everyone, I'm pretty good today. In the last week, I was working on optimizing the app and removing unnecessary dependencies on the package JSON that I'm going to show you. Thank you. I will pass it to Muhammad.
Hey guys, I'm doing great. I'm very well, and I was working on the mostly on project verification last week, and I did something in the backend side of Giveth, and maybe my intention is to getting updates and about that, and I have no distraction. I'll pass it to Ashley.
Hi. Sorry, I had to unmute in two places. Yeah, it's so great to see all of our dev powers combined all in one place. I just want to say that this is an awesome call to see you guys all working together. That's so cool. And my intentions for the call is just kind of sync up and see what's going on, keep in the loop, maybe provide feedback around project verification stuff, and to live stream the call. I no distractions, so I'm here till the end, and I will pass it to Carlos.
Thank you. Hey everyone. I'm good. Well, a little bit of my status. This weekend that Mateo did the deploys to production, we did some testing in staging of the issues we had left, and everything went well. I did some hot fixes, and everything is now in production. Aside from that, well, this sprint I was a little bit away because I had to travel, and well, my mother and my grandma got sick, so I was a little bit out. But yeah, I'm back now. Everything is fine now, and I would like to sync up and see how can I help in maybe the integrations. Because aside from a few issues that Mitch created, I do not see like that many features to work on, so maybe we can talk about that. And also, I have a work meeting in like 30 minutes, so just to keep that in mind. And I'll pass it to Mitch.
Thanks, Carlos. Yeah, I was a bit out as well from the dev stuff for the last couple weeks, just with the conference and all. So I would like to hear what everyone's working on and what the next steps are in relation to the roadmap for the dev team. And, yeah, I think that's it. And I will pass it to Griff. Have you gone? I was late.
Nope, I haven't. Everyone's always scared to pass it to me. No, I'm just. But yeah, my intentions. I like this Next.js versus React app discussion. That sounds fun. And I will say that React app is so 2019, and that Next.js seems to be the what most people in crypto are going towards. Just to add that to the discussion, but that's all I know. So then the rest of that discussion, I'll just be listening eagerly. And yeah, I love these calls. It's cool that it's merged into one, and so I'm just going to enjoy and hang out. No distractions. I'll pass it to. Oh no, who hasn't gone? Monique?
Yeah, everywhere is done. Thank you. We just have 15 minutes for very, very short updates. If you have something to show and, needs any comments from the others, I would love to start with Mateo. Would you please give me some updates and, for Berry Sync? Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Mine are kind of quick. I'll show my screen really fast. So basically, are you seeing my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything that the badges, all of this work was 2 weeks from old now, but I just deployed them to live version. So that's like the best for now. It's basically showing the verified badges, the new badges for only 2 weeks old projects, and we get also the traceable projects. That so far is the Giveth development that is in here. If you click, you go redirected instantly to the trace URL. And that's it. That's going to change because I want to make the this to go like a regular project in our interface. So yeah, I think that's it. The other issue is that some projects were having the /1 thing in the slug, like this. I haven't changed the ones that already has it because I heard some users were printing QR codes. So if I change the slug, that QR code is very likely to not work. So I don't want to make that a problem for the users that already have those printed. So for future projects, this /-1 is not going to show up anymore with the help of Carlos. Yeah, that's basically it. I want to clean up the board this week and do the many things that I haven't done. I'll pass it to Amin.
Yeah, I don't. Do you hear me?
Right now, yes.
Yeah,
I hear you.
I don't have anything to demo. Yeah, I don't have anything to show you. No, I pass it to Mohammed.
You're muted, Muhammad.
Sorry. Do you have my screen? Okay. For project verification, we had some ideas that first of all, when user comes to Giveth arrays, it should call an endpoint and send an slug. So after sending the slug and valid address of the user that are in the trace, and after that he will get the project info from the Giveth.io. User called this endpoint. The URL has been changed now, and after that we request to Giveth.io and return this response, title, description, and other info of the Giveth.io. And we do some checking. For example, if the valid address of the project is the user address, and if we don't have any campaign with this project ID, and we have some of this checking. And after that, in the Giveth step, user would connect to the wallet and then call a request to create a pending campaign in our database. And after that, he will sign a transaction with MetaMask and other stuff. So I did the backend side. It's on the code review, so I can't show you on the develop on UAT server, and it's my local host. But I think it's almost done. So if we do the front end side, we can have the project verification maybe for next Monday. And it's the most important thing that I worked in the last week, and the other task was some bug fixes or tiny issues. And I will pass it to Ramin.
Yes, let me share my screen. Do you have my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. I changed we have a component edit trace all that were used to edit old traces, but it were using some very old packages, and it had some problems, some UI and performance problems, so we need to change it. So I changed that to a new component with the new designs. This is the old form that I changed it to a new form. It's like I merged the all four types of forms: milestone, bounty, payment, and expense into one. And in this form, we have all of them in here: the reviewer, the wallet address, different reimbursement options. For example, the user can have different options here, and he can add new expenses and etc. The users now are using the new forms when creating and editing, but the old types of the old types of traces, for example, that were created 3 months ago, maybe wanted to, if they are proposed, they are still in proposed state, maybe they are wanted to edit their traces. So we couldn't remove this, and we had to maintain it till now. But it were using some old packages, so I refactored it completely. And after it changed this component, because it were using some old components, we could remove 3 packages from package.json, 6 packages, sorry. We could remove these 6 packages from package.json, and now our application is a little lighter than before. And the other thing I wanted to show you is the current balance value. It wasn't updated automatically when the user donates something. The amount was updating, but the current balance value and the and also the buttons like archive, request mark complete, they weren't updated automatically. That I fixed them. Also, the other thing I wanted to show you was delegate funds here. When the user wants to delegate and he's not the campaign owner, we won't fill this form automatically for him. But and this user, test Giveth, is not the owner of this campaign, RAM Camp 1. But if I change the user to this one, this user RAM is the owner of this campaign, and when he wants to delegate to this trace, if I sign in, as you see, we will automatically fill the campaign. But the user can also change it if he wants. For example, if the user wants to delegate from the communities, he can change it. But the campaign is selected as a default. Yes, thank you. I will pass it to Moni.
I'm so excited about that feature. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you hear me? Okay, thank
Yes.
you. Thank you all for their updates. I just want to show you the verification design that Rodri has done, especially for Ashley. I want her to see it, and I have her comments here. This is the, from the mockup that we suggest to Marco, and we have just this, connect your wallet. After connecting his wallet, it's me, it's Monique. They get all of the data from the IO, and after that, I confirm my project, and it's the final step. I just want to show you that I mentioned you, Ashley, on that card. If you have any comments, I appreciate if you leave it before it gets implemented. We think that we can deliver it on Monday next week. And I also suggest this UX pattern for connecting wallets and changing the wallet problem that we have, because we have onboard.js on production, and we disabled the other wallets because we have not delivered this feature of changing the wallet. So I just changed the enable web3 button to connect wallet, and after that, if a user choose one of these wallets from the onboard.js, it's a routine flow of the onboard.js. But after that, we have to know that the user is being in the process, for example, for connecting his before selected wallet. For example, if I select service and I disconnected, or for example, I don't follow the steps of connecting my wallet through Taurus, the onboard.js showed me that you have been selected this wallet, and we are still in that status that my wallet has not been connected. And after that, if I connect my profile and I have a profile on, if I connect my wallet and I have a profile on Giveth, I just suggest that we show this tab, this kind of button here, and showing the mask value of the address, and also an icon for showing the wallet. It's kind of UX that I have seen on Fox, and I think it's a good idea to have this one. And if a user changed his network, onboard.js comes here, and I just that we change if the user connects his wallet and he have not have a profile yet, and this section, instead of profile, we can I got disconnected again.
It's okay. Discord has been freaking out all day.
Shall I continue? Do you see my screen?
Yep.
And here I change it to from profile. I change it to register here because the user is in anonymous. Like it connects his wallet, but it's not registered yet. I post all of this to design panel, and also we have this issue on our current sprint. We just need to bring this button here, but I'm not sure that we put it here or put it under the profile menu. All the comments are invited. The issue number here is a sprint backlog. It's can't change sign-in option after rejecting Taurus. I just put it on the issue that the Mish has created it, and I put all of the UX design here. It's not a UX design; it's just a kind of markup. And if you agree with the total concept, we can easily add this bar here and go forward. This is the one agent that I have, and it's the number of the issue is 2405. And let's take a look at our burn down here. Sorry, go to report. Change it to current sprint, and no, sorry. And if we assume that UAT, we have a little progress here, not too much. If I change to USIO. So let's see the report here. I think we have it's from backlog to done or staging. I think we have to update our board before we see the progress here. I think not updated yet. And this is my agenda first. That was for connecting wallets. And for integration, it's another agenda that we have. We just had these items. We show campaigns on trace campaigns on IO. It's still in progress by Metao. And we, have designed how the user can sign in both two dApps. And also we're working on a verification process, as you see. And but there are lots of items that we can add. For example, adding a project from campaign from trace. We add the project to IO. It's an old issue that we have here that was suggested by Griff 1 year ago, but I think things change during the time. It was that, if I can find it.
You're in the Giveth trace workspace.
Yeah, it was in Giveth trace, but I can't find it. But there is an issue that raised by Griff that it said that it would be great if we can create a project from trace. But I think that I want to have your feedbacks on here on this topic, and also we can make traces from the front of IO2. So we had these steps, creating users or user profile from IO. We have, we're working on this, things, and we can add it to the design of the, Giveth IO for all of the users. For example, after users have their profile on Trace, he can on IO he can see that if he has a project there or not, if it has a profile on Trace or not, and if he has not, he can easily sign his wallet and updated his profile on Trace. And we can show the campaigns as a traceable project in IO, and we are able now to add a project as a campaign to IO, but not vice versa. I want to have a discussion about creating campaign from the front of IO, and also creating traces in IO project. This is my second agenda, talking about these items. And, my last agenda that was, Amin said, was talking about the, shall we move our front end to Next.js, or how we can do it in our next sprints. And that's it, yeah. So we have just 3 agenda here. One, we can start talking about this, items. If you have, any comments, you can say right now, or if you want to have it later by comments, you can do it on its issue. If you don't have anything, I can pass and have discussions on integrations. Is it a good idea or not?
Yeah, you can see my our gesture. Yeah, we are agreeing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's move to integration issues. I try to work with Marco and Rodri about adding something in the profile section to enable the user to have profile and trace if they want. And it's a thing that I can do it. I think it's not a very strange thing, but if you have any comments on it, you can say this is the first step. I think in the next sprint we can show all details of the campaigns in projects if they're traceable. Let's have a discussion on shall we create a project on IO front on trace front end? For example, I go to a campaign and just want to make that campaign a project in IO. Is the good thing or not? In my point of view, it's not necessary. But I'd love to hear your comments.
Sorry, can you say? You mean I didn't get the question. You say that creating the campaign from Giveth.io home page or in the Giveth trace. That was the question.
Yeah, we have an issue that Griff raised that it was if I go to trace and I want my campaign to be as a project in trace, as a project in IO. It's a good idea. Yeah.
We can simply just give him an option to make it verified, and after it's verified, Giveth.io will show it.
Yeah, I think we're doing this. Ashley's doing this manually. Basically.
Yeah, I'm going through basically talking with all the campaign managers on Trace and letting them know that, this is what's happening. We're verifying all these projects. We're going through and manually verifying the ones that are verifiable by our current standards, and then figuring out the roadmap for the other ones, whether they become archived or how that would work. But so once all this verification is said and done, every campaign on Giveth Trace will have already been verified. So we'll just need to then, reflect those within the IO front end. And then moving forward, any new campaigns that are made will already be verified projects on IO. So there wouldn't be a need to move any campaigns from Trace to IO after this process is done.
Okay. So it's not necessary. All of the team members agree about that. So if we make it traceable, the IO can show it and show all of the details of it. So it's not necessary to have this. So what about the first one? Make IO a user in a profile section to have another profile, or for example, to upgrade his account to a traceable user, for example. For example, I go to IO, I register as a user, I have a project there, and then I just want to upgrade my profile, and I see a thing, for example, a badge there, and I see, okay, upgrade my account to be for example, traceable trace manager. And after that, we sign through IO and make a profile, a trace profile on trace. Is it the thing that if we do it, for example, the user even can be able to create, for example, traces and do all of the actions in the traces because he has a profile on trace.
Is it necessary to have a profile in the Giveth trace? User wants it done. We say that we are creating our application around the donors. We don't think we want to make their task easy.
No.
So, everything is traced on the network.
I think that there is a levels for users. For example, if I am a simple user, I can donate. I can, for example, have a non-verified project, and it's okay. I can do everything. But if I want to have a, for example, verified project, or if I want to traceable project, and I want to, for example, view, reject, accept the traces, everything that a user can do on trace. I might be able to upgrade my, profile to a, for example, traceable usability and trace platform, for example, users. So we can do it on IO front end. For example, if I click on my profile and see a bar in there that I want to upgrade my profile there, and we are able to make a profile with that information to trace. So after I see, for example, a traceable a project, for example, I can accept the traces in the IO and do all of the stuff that's, for example, a managerial user can do it. This is the whole idea.
Manager user will create profile when he's verifying his project. So about others, I think that would be nice, when you want to create trace. The other functionality that is available for them is that creating trace, and if they want to do that, they should register in Giveth trace, and we can add some functionality later to in the profile section. When they want to fill it, they can fetch the information from the Giveth IO and fill it with that.
I was just wondering, when you're building this stuff, are you planning on using the same ID and structure from trace to IO? Because being able to trace our users will be just as useful as well. So if we have like something standardized between the two platforms, I think that'll be very useful.
Yeah, that is my idea. For that the user can do all of the things in IO instead of having another coping with another platform. And I think it's the first step that we can do it instead of instead of directing user to another URL to sign his wallet and say, hey, I'm a new user to trace. We can do all of this stuff in IO. But I just want to have more feedbacks on it. Griff, do you have any feedback?
I mean, I think the end goal is to unify the profiles, right? So the intermediate steps to me are like whatever's easiest, and I'm not the best to judge.
Yeah, I mentioned last call that it would be a cool idea to have like a shared table that basically links with foreign keys or whatever the user in both platforms, even if it's just the same wallet address or it's a different address. I don't know. So maybe that could make it possible to share all the information from both sides, and maybe do it directly on the impact graph, just as it's maybe more easy to use for whoever that wants to access let's say the GraphQL interface, and you want to see, I don't know, the user's information, just like Ashley and Mitch does sometimes. They go directly to the interface and that's it. So maybe listening that Carlos didn't have much features to do, that could be like a good first step. And if the guys in the trace team agree, we can make maybe this table and that table or that link between the parts done on the impact graph. I don't see the point of doing another instance or another application for this. We just choose one database and that's it.
The conflict resolution is something that should be discussed in this case. In the Giveth trace, you should do transaction, upload your information to IPFS, have saved it in the smart contract. So there should be some value there. And USIO, you don't do that. You just save something in the database. And syncing these two needs more discussion and take a decision whether we can. I don't know how to do it. We should make one of them the main, the dominant. And if you have filled information in both tables, one of them will be considered as your info. So yeah, we should think about it. Think about it later, probably. The first step would be, maybe in future we can integrate these two. And when the user create the field trace in the field, its information, its profile in the ghost trace, the database will impact of the field. And in the initial step, we can propagate the information in Giveth trace to user trace of table of impact graphs. So in the future, so if the user in Giveth IO login without entering information, we have you. You were in Giveth trace, you were on Giveth, of course. So we know you, so you don't want to fill your profile again. Go forth it. So yeah, it's my idea. Yeah. Go ahead, Mani.
Sorry. For example, imagine I'm a simple user. I just want to donate and go through Giveth.io, find a traceable project, open it, and I just want to subscribe on that project. It's the simplest thing that I want to do. And in that case, we need a trace user. For example, if I want to comment on any traces that I see on a traceable project on IO, in that case, I need to have a trace profile too. There are lots of functions that, for example, a user want to do it, but it needs to be traceable. Project, needs to upgrade his account and have a traceable profile. Have a trace profile. So I just want to, if want to integrate these two together and do all of the stuff, all of the actions, for example, a user can do in a traceable project campaign in trace, or a trace that we show it on IO. Yeah, we need to give them access to do this. So having a profile, yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, our initial solution for integrating is that in the USIO people see US trace campaigns as badge, as a card, and when they click on it, they will totally go to US trace. So everything is handled there. So at this step in USIO, we don't need to implement anything. Hopefully,
You name it integration? Just redirect.
No. Of course, it's not. We cannot solve it in one day. I think we should work on it, and it's always in computer science integration systems, and
it's almost
conflict
done.
resolving is hard.
Yeah, I just want to fill my backlog for it. The direction thing is done. Direction link is done. And the view the details of a project is almost done. We are able to make profiles, and with that things that Mohammed has do, and we are able to create campaign everywhere. It's done by assigning in ballots. So I'm just looking for another actions that a user can do it on IO. And that's why I'm just asking these questions. I'm not talking about the priority. You may say that's okay. It's not a priority. Have not priority right now, but we have to do it. We have two different type of apps that they need to be together. and talk with each other more. It's a thing that we have to have plan for it. Maybe for the next year, I don't know. But me as a product manager have to bring you together to talk about the details and jot down the things about all of this integration and stuff.
It sounds like this is a pretty big blocker for this integration, is just how are we going to integrate these databases. And I'm wondering if we should start committing time between Amin and Matteo and really working out this issue and the other back-end devs, because this seems like the biggest blocker for full integration.
I would be careful to rely too much on Amin, since he's going to be being very distracted by Solidity and give economy things.
Yeah, and Mohammed and Carlos, obviously you guys have a lot of back-end experience, so maybe that's useful to bring you guys in more.
Yeah, you can share our thoughts. Okay, go ahead, Mohammed.
Currently I have no idea, but I would think more about that, and if you don't need my opinion immediately, I can think about that.
So I try having some discussions about this during this week, and making a document about that. For example, the actions that, for example, simple user can do on Trace, and what we have to do it on, IO. And it seems like I can start with this draft document and talk about it later. But keep in mind that we're looking for do subscribing, commenting, and after that donate is very much more important at the first step. That's all of our just blocked by creating a profile from IO. If you don't have a profile on IO, forget about the anonymous donations. Yeah, you're right. You can donate without profile anonymously. But if you want to, if you have to connect your wallet before you can donate, and it's a thing that may relate it to both steps. I just write this document. So let's go forward to another agenda that we have. That was, the question came from the new design that Rodri had been doing. That was very similar to Giveth.io and token economics new designs. And we just want to know that we have to implement features in Giveth in Next.js, or about the technical stack that we have to do it. I just want to Amin to go and talk about this issue.
Yeah, thank you. We are in an important step. Yeah, we should decide here. We should take key decisions here. Because if we don't integrate our applications well, we will have much trouble later. So we should not think per application. We should think all of them together. And what I'm to say is that we should share our knowledge with each other to see what will be the best direction we should go and what tech stack we should use. Till now, Giveth.io and Giveth Trace very going. They were not merged at all. They were going their way. They had decided their own tech stack. In the Giveth Trace, we were creating React app. It was the code is so legacy. It's not TypeScript. And we have suffered much from that decision that it wasn't TypeScript. And in Giveth.io, hopefully the backend is TypeScript. I don't know, front end is TypeScript. Am I right, Matteo?
Sorry?
The front end of Giveth.io is written in TypeScript?
No, it's JavaScript. There were a couple of components trying to be TypeScript, but we never did the whole migration. That was
Yeah.
a proposal of Merlin, but that didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are currently at the moment implement Giveth token frontend, and as I see, we are in the Figma. We have designed component, and we could kind of this take decision about not just a React app and Next.js, also about other styling stuff, whether how we can share components with each other, and make it easier for to share our time with each other, and cover and overlap what we can do.
I was having this crazy idea. I don't know how feasible it is, but we can also consider as a third option that is making a library for our own. Like all the components will be in this repo in particular, and both projects will link to this shared library of components. So everybody that is making, let's say, a button or a drawer or whatever, it's in this component repository, and both projects will link to it. I'm not sure how. I mean, it's of course going to be.
So you mean both dApps?
Yeah.
DApps or projects? Okay.
So IO and Trace will import the components from this particular library. So if anyone is making a new update of a button or whatever, we'll have to do it in this library repo and then link it in the application. This repo could also follow a storybook kind of coding. What do you say? Guidelines. So we could have like a cute interface and see and test the components before actually using them in the application. So maybe that could be the best solution long term, and make the style upgrades about the versioning of this library. I don't know if it's worth that much work, because it's going to be a lot to do. I don't know. But if we are going to make a way to integrate the style and components the best way, I think that could be an interesting option to follow. I don't know if you have any feedback on that.
Yeah, nice. And about the technology, you have chosen Next.js. Giveth Trace is totally in Giveth Trace is totally in React app. Do you want to follow Next.js? And what's the benefit of Next.js over Create React app that we will use? We don't have much server-side rendering, and most of the application will run on the user side.
Yeah, the main benefit from Next.js, of course, is the server side, and let's say it's also that they fully optimize the whole framework for the web environment in every aspect. So the experience developing in Next.js is really nice, and it also gives like a lot of priority to the user experience. And that's partly because of the server-side rendering. It makes everything faster. It allows you to do prefetching and a lot of things that a regular Create React app won't allow you. So my go-to every time in a new project is Next.js, just because of that, because it allows you to go fully in optimized and ready to deploy whatever you are doing in the best way. Maybe in a client-side render application like Create React app, it doesn't prioritize on these aspects, but also you have the benefit of being fully client-side rendered. And in crypto, that's a lot easier, because we are calling libraries directly that are injected in Web3 and on and on. In Next.js, that can be a little bit tricky. I have figured out many ways to do that really easy, but we have to weigh the benefits in this sense. I'm a lover of Next.js, but I don't believe that is the best solution for everything. So we just have to measure if it's worth it to maybe consider all of these overpowered features, or we don't actually need it. So
the dApp node application, as you well know, Amin, is also Next.js, right? So it's very likely that. What?
Yeah, and you know, this was Next.js. I hope, and I don't know whether they tactfully decided that. You know, maybe Fabio took the liberty to choose it. I'm not sure. It's in my mind. You know, I just think that, for instance, Uniswap application is written in Create React app, and I didn't see any. You know, I in few minutes I tried to find out how other application is written. Some of them is Vue. We don't use, we are React. So, and you know, as Matteo said, the next is amazing. It's amazing. It's a tank. Maybe, but just maybe we need just some gun, and that's the reason I'm thinking whether. Matteo, you mentioned that something was something was tricky about Web3 and Next.js.
It used to be. Right now, it isn't. I mean, I made the whole migration from Gatsby to Next in a couple of weeks, and that was messy, but it was quite smooth. I got to meet Next.js like 3 years ago when it was like in version 3, and that was horrible. Like, man, that disgusting. And now it's just a please to work in there. It's basically the same Create React app framework, but with some conventions that you can make use of just to make the application better. So for right now, I would say that it's completely worth it, even though it's a tank and you have so much to do. You just have to like learn a couple of things methodically and how you should be doing things. But between this and Create React app, there are not so many differences in the let's say the basics. You just have to follow a couple of super basic conventions and you're ready to go.
Yeah, cool.
I would just say I hope that we don't try to change the framework from dApp node and we stick with well, I assume it's not really my call, but I assume it would be faster. We'd save a few days by staying with Next.js for the Give token integration, and that's my main priority, is just making sure that we can get that as quickly as possible. But if we want to convert everything to Create React app because that makes more sense, that's fine. But maybe not until we get the token out, right?
Okay, yeah. The time is the most important thing, and my concern is to whether, as Matteo said, that everything is solved. That's very good and very good news. And I want to not to do anything tricky. And I will do a little search to see how many application is written in crypto via Next.js. I want to find a solid application that is written by Next.js to know that, okay, it will work for us. If, for instance, Uniswap was written in Next.js, we say, okay, we'll have no issue. They have solved everything. They have many users. They have the application is tested on many browsers by many users from other places, and okay, that will work. Yeah.
Also, I wanted to mention that migrating from Create React app to Next.js is just like super easy. So beginning with the basic React app, I don't think that is going to be much of a worry. So we can do that upgrade eventually when we have the chance. But I mean, Gatsby to Next.js, that's another thing, because Gatsby is disgusting. Yeah. I don't like it. platform.
To another call. Guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Good to hear.
Thank you.
I appreciate. I love those words, Mateo. Okay, bye guys.
But my only concern is every people who's not concerned about the technology stuff can leave, and if Matthew has time, we can continue about talking it. Of course, there people love it. Muhammad and Rami love to be in the call. Yeah, but others, feel free to leave.
Before go deep in this, Mitch, can you help me create and have a document for integrating these two apps? Do you have time during the next week or this week?
Yeah, I was about to propose maybe facilitating some calls and making some points for integration. So I would be happy to help with that.
Yeah, thank you. So I reached you out, and another thing that I want to say that, hey guys, try to deliver whatever in our sprint, please. We have the same schedule. We're committed to deliver all the things that we have during this pipeline, and let's have a standard routine to measure also with ourselves. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I just want to say goodbye. If you want to continue on this issue, we can go forward. But I like to hear, but just for Carlos, Mitch, Ashley, and everyone else.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I had the board with Carlos. If you don't want to leave, he want to leave. He wants to leave. He wanted to leave. Yeah. I guess he's not here anymore.
Carlos, do you have time for a couple of minutes, or can stay?
I had a question before. Yeah, we actually go. Is that I think I missed the two last calls, or maybe something in the works. But the point of this new application is to actually make the Trace.io into a new project, right? That's the decision.
What? Sorry, no. We can, maybe Giveth.io keeps and we gradually merge Giveth Trace to it.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So this one is only for all the process of. I mean, I'm just confused about what's the focus of this new stack.
We wanted to start the give token stuff.
Okay.
Give drop and the dashboard, and we are in the state to choose the tech stack. And if you say that it's very easy to migrate from Create React App to Next.js, do you have any free time in?
I can give you an overview of the Next.js application right now for I/O and how it integrates the Web3 part, and maybe show you the guidelines and all of the things that are particular for Next.js. We can make a hack session this week for that. An hour
is very good. So I mean that we have if you can migrate Giveth Trace to Next.js and it work well, we can consider it. My mind that the big question is, can we migrate Giveth Trace to Next.js? What do you think? Because for instance, in the verification process, we are using components that mostly is implemented in Giveth.io. And if we start sharing components at this moment, that would be a bigger step, and will be very useful for our future save our time. Have you ever run the Giveth Trace on your machine?
No, I have to. I don't know why I haven't done that, but I will.
Yeah, if you like, please run it, see what's going on. It's just simple. Rami, do you have any point? Anything?
I have a question, Mato. As you know, Giveth Trace. In Giveth Trace, we are passing down all the data using use context. For example, the user address, the web tree, some notification models, and we are using hooks. We are using use context to pass down these data to the deep components. And as we were talking to Cherik, and Cherik said that in Next.js, because they are pre-rendered and rendered as user, for example, user hover some component, and those JS files will have some lazy loading or something like that. We can't use use context. And I have a question. My question is this: that because we are using use context in all of our application. After, if you want to implement Next.js, how should we implement that?
It works the same. You just have to be careful that some context and some hooks are actually considering the lazy loading. That's it. But it works perfectly because we do the same on I/O. We use, for example, the Torus context has to be loaded lazily because Torus is a library that only runs on the client side, so you cannot actually prefetch it. So you just have to consider that when you configure the hook. That's it. But it will work.
You mean we don't have to change the context, and we don't need to change much?
No, you just have to be careful if you are calling a library or something that is only rendered on the client side, and make it ready for the server side rendering. And that's solved by how do you call it? They call it, I forgot about it, but it's basically the suspense version of it, but for Next. It's the same. I think it's a suspense, or there is a lazy load component that Next.js has ready for that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Carlos has left. Yeah, has left.
No, Carlos is here.
It's here. Seemingly.
No worries. So what we will Carlos didn't answer. So I forgot to coordinate that. So you think that we should easily migrate Giveth trace, migrate Giveth trace to Next.js? Can we do it this week? Paul, what do you think?
We have to plan for it, man.
Maybe it will be done in 2 hours. What do you think? How much? What's your estimate, Matthew?
You say migrating trace to Next?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I have to see that. I mean, 2 days, no. It's like a week maybe. If it's easy, a week could work. If it's hard, maybe 2. But I have to check because I cannot talk without actually seeing how the project is built. But I can answer to that later.
Yeah, can you run the application on your machine and take a look and share your knowledge with us?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's definitely possible, but the time is not obvious yet. The time that is needed is not yet.
Yeah, it's not obvious because I don't know how the context and all of the, for example, the questions that Ramin was asking is basically that it can be easy, but it depends on how the logic is working. It can collide or it can get messy. It's possible and it can be done, but if something is weirdly done or it doesn't like it, we can get stuck in stupid things just because.
Yeah,
but
and you have used Ant design. Oh, you used a style component, in the
style. Yeah.
And I guess we should use a style component and use give drop application and into token application. I guess because Ant is heavy.
I think we gonna have our own style. Am I right?
The style has the same thing. I guess they're using. I don't know. A style component is more verbose, and you can define the style in the same component, the same file that you define component, and it's very easy to modify and develop. It's very so prevalent these days. A style component is mostly used by front-end projects.
Yeah.
So because Giveth.io, DAppNode, style component, I prefer that. And okay. So I'm looking forward.
We can deliver, next week. That's verification UI. I'm not sure that's which decision that you made today, but I just want it to be delivered as a product manager.
Yeah, of course. Mato, hopefully Romin has removed lots of code from Giveth trace. That's good news for you if you want to look at the code. So it's simpler than before.
Okay.
You have tried to tens of thousands lines of code, I guess. Okay. I have anything to add, so I just looking forward for Mato feedback about. See you look in the code and share it with me. Or so you are the best person to do it. If I guess in all the front end developers, you are the best person to.
Yeah, I think that we have to have issues after Mato take a look at this deeply, and we have estimation on next Monday and plan it for our next sprint if you want to do it. But beside, if you want to do it, whole of the steps, whole of the pages in trace to the Next.js.
No, it's not to do for all page 101. We should just solve an issue as a whole. Some issue should solve some issue in a whole. Am I right, Matteo? It should not do anything per page. You don't want to go to that page and migrate that to Next.js.
Sorry, I don't follow the question.
He said Monique thinks that migration to Next.js needs to we go to every component and migrate that to Next.js.
No, it's basically every page, every route. That's like when you do one, the components are mainly the same. It's just the initial rendering and initial configuration when you call the route. So no, it's as many routes there is in trace, there will be a work to be done.
Yeah. So hopefully we don't have much.
Yeah, okay. The benefit is that it's React in the end. So it's just making like the puzzle fit. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
So if you want to do it in all of the paths, you can have one more pass that is verification. So let's not bind this verification to the job that it's going to be doing in the next sprint. That was what I think that I want to say.
Yeah, I totally want to clean the board as much as possible before tackling all of this. And after that, I want to run the trace app on my local and see how it works. I want to check all the logic of it, and maybe I'll have a better estimation. But yeah, I have the IO board really forgotten, so I don't want to keep forgetting it. It's very like that.
I like to push on sharing component with other, and the verification process also can share component with Giveth.io. That's the reason I'm saying about it. And it's not a big deal. We can start by copying the component first and then make shareable.
And I just want to add something that it's of the subjects. It's not related to our subject, but I'm just thinking about it. That's why we have another, for example, landing page on Trace to have 3 signs for a project manager to make his project traceable. Why we don't do it on IO UI?
Because user should sign in, user should call a smart contract. It should be connected to Ringby, call a smart contract, and all of that are upload to IPFS, and all of that are already in Giveth Trace. Uploading to IPFS in Giveth.io is available in Giveth.io too, but we have to work with the smart contracts, and they are imported in Giveth Trace.
Okay, I understand, but can't we do it on IO? Just front end. We can.
It's all on the front end. It's all on the front end, and we should import many code. No, it's not so easy. We have lots of code in Giveth Trace to do that. We have lots of verification. We have lots of smart contracts code.
If you want to do it, let's do it. Instead of having another landing page, for example, for profile, inserting profile, we can easily add something there in the profile section to create or upgrade my user as a manager, for example. For creating campaign, we can just have one bar and make it traceable, and after that we just ask a user to sign his via his wallet. We can do all of this stuff through IO. If we we set up another web page in Trace because we think that it's impossible to integrate these two apps in, for example, for a small contracts. But if we want to go through it, and has its efforts to integrate these two, why we should do it in another landing page?
As I said, Giveth.io is connected to backend of Giveth.io Impact Graph. And Giveth Trace, we have another backend, and it's integrated with processing event from Ringby network. For instance, when you consider this, when you create a user, create a profile, it will have a giver ID. It will save in the backend of Giveth Trace. And when you want to create a campaign, a verified one, you fetch the information from backend of Giveth.io, yes. You upload in IPFS, yes. But when user create that and upload that, I created the campaign and a smart contract, but the transaction is going to be mine, and I push the information to your backend. The information will be in the pending state in the backend of the Giveth Trace, and after the transaction is mine, and 7 block or I don't know any confirmation that we have set is passed, we get the event that that confirmation, that project is added, and we update the state that it's in progress. It's active. Sorry, the campaign is active because the transaction is mine, and we saw the event. All of that are implemented in Giveth Trace, and Giveth.io backend doesn't have anything about that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and if you want to do it in the landing page of Giveth.io, we should implement the feather things on the Giveth.io which is not ready yet, and it has not implemented. So we are communicating with feather in the client and front and back. So all of this stuff, 99% of this stuff is implemented in Giveth Trace. We should share all of the code, all of the code to Giveth.io, and it's not easy, and maybe not. In my mind, I didn't choose that.
Yeah. So in that case, that we're not gonna integrate anymore. Never.
Yes, we will integrate. We will integrate. Someday. I think. I'm thinking about that. It should be our big. We should define tiny steps, small steps to reach that. And we cannot solve it as
priorities. I'm not talking about timing. Just think about the best solution that we have. If we create another landing page, just make it more complex in the future.
I guess the Giveth.io should be landing page. Giveth.io should be the landing page, but we can add the functions Giveth trace gradually to Giveth.io, and we don't have enough resources of actually designers, enough developers.
For example, I go through, I'm a project manager in IO. I just want to make my project verify. I go to another, type form process, fill lots of things. And then after that, I got a link. I have to go on the landing page, sign 3 times to make my project, for example, traceable. And after that, I have to wait to my project to be verified. Why? All of these steps can easily do on, on a platform. I have my project, I have my, profile section, I have my management section. I can say, I want to make my project verified. I see the forms, I confirm it. I say, I want to make my project traceable. Confirm it. I might be, go through another, for example, landing page, talking with many backends as we have. For example, a big mega project, integrates lots of, all the repositories together. And, I think we have to do it. We have to go through it, have a design, discuss it in details, and try to make it. It's our plan. We're here to integrate these 2 apps. I know it's complicated, but if it's possible.
Yeah.
And if we can do it gradually, let's start it.
Yeah, I agree with the meaning of the little steps and maybe focusing on making the integration user focus first before tech related. So we just, like we mentioned a couple of months ago, we go and make the story of the user go through IO to trace or whatever. So it makes sense. And slowly the tech will adapt to that. So yeah, I think we'll get to it. But the priority, I think, now is to get the user story really integrated between the 2 applications.
So
I just want to name that we've been in a meeting for about 2.5 hours back to back. I don't know if it's worthwhile taking some ideas and coming at this with a fresh mind.
Right.
Or do you guys want to keep hacking on this right now?
No, I agree with you. I'm the same.
I'm hungry. It's lunch.
Okay. We set up for example, hack session for integrating the Next.js, and we preparing a doc with Mitch about integrating these 2 apps in a draft, and after that we set up a hack session to talk about it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I have some notes for this meeting in the Notion. They're very rough. I don't know if anyone else took notes, but I'll create a document and we can start getting ideas and then work from there in integration.
Very good. Can we have that Notion?
Yeah, it's under the platform circle on Notion. I'll post it in the all dev.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
See you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Goodbye.